All right, so the original footage had the game music absolutely blasting and I couldn't hear myself talk. So you guys get the short, sweet, condensed version. So this video today, for the second time, is about how you can go faster in Path of Exile, why I think it's so awesome. Yeah, how we lost our way. The best way to make money in Path of Exile is go very fast, not dying, right? Try to die as little as possible. I'm not advocating 6 Portal Andy and Cast on Death Portal and all that jazz, but I am advocating for don't overinvest into defense or even offense. If you are killing every single monster on the screen with a single shot, consider dropping your body armor that might have crazy attack damage, crazy attack speed, and all that, and tossing on a Queen of the Forest. The beginning of this video is just going to be shilling really, really hard for Queen of the Forest. This is a body armor that gives you up to 50% movement speed. The way it works is you get negative 25 movement speed by default at 45,000 evasion. You will get max movement speed, which is plus 50% off the body armor. So for all of the right side tree enjoyers, which, come on, right side crew, let's go. That is what I advocate that you use. In fact, I think I'm going to be leaning towards using this body armor. This thing's been around forever, right? And you remember Slippery Jim. He's always walking around with his little Queen of the Forest, his little, hey, I ran 10,000 burial chambers, whatever. It's the classic, Wind Ripper, whatever, Biscos and all that. That's the standard. I think it's kind of been slept on. Honestly, I was inspired by seeing Pelstron using a Queen of the Forest. I was using a Hiri's Ire, which made me do more damage and more defense with 30 spell suppression. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this one Chaos Unique, absolutely dirt cheap. That's with good rolls. Without any rolls on it is a 1 Chaos Unique. Good rolls, it goes up to 10 Chaos, let's not break the bank here. It gives you a little bit of defense, decent amount of life, decent amount of res, very good evasion actually. Big thing is you get 50% movement speed if you have enough evasion. To the point where I actually dropped haste in my current build. Couldn't really fit it in. I dropped haste and I put in Grace right here because it gives me enough movement speed off of the evasion rating. So much evasion rating, I actually get more movement speed than if I was running haste. Not to mention now it gives me, even without a Jade Flask, I'm actually walking around with really good evasion rating. That's with the Death Rush. I'm over 45,000 with my real ring on, which is over the cap, which gives me all the movement speed. And now I get 84% evasion without even a Jade Flask, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's the first up. I just want to shill for Queen of the Forest. We've really lost our way, I think, after over-adjusting in 3.15. We had Arch Nemesis, and they reworked a lot of stuff. Player power went down, enemy power went up, and we went all out like, hey, a build's only good if it has 100,000 EHP. You're looking at people with 6K life and all that. And I think that's been good for people to, get more comfortable with the game and not dying. But I always want to advocate for speed. And I think there's a balance in the middle where you can go really fast. Like, the reason I like this game is because you can go really, really fast and just blast and blow up thousands of monsters at a time. Next up is I want to go over Rampage right here. Rampage is a buff that makes you do more damage and go faster. There are a lot of sources of it, a lot of uniques right here. All you have to do is equip it, kill at least one monster, and then you can just unequip it. You can use a weapon swap like Sinvictus Metal right here. So I had this set up with Splitting Steel, kill one monster, weapon swap back, and then you're running around blasting. The way it works is you get a kill counter, which goes up to 1,000. For every 20 stacks, you get 1% movement speed and 2% increased damage. For 50% increased movement speed and 100% increased damage, the stacks will tick down. So if it falls off, you have to do the item swap again to get it back. As long as you're going really fast, killing the monsters, you'll maintain those stacks. Occasionally, there'll be explosions and things get summoned and all that, but that's really not the main reason why you're doing it. It is nice. It does help you blow up the whole screen. But the main reason you're doing this is the passive buff for movement speed and damage. Quick little shill here for haste. I made a video about it last league. Haste gives you 16% movement speed, 25 cast and attack speed at level 21. Honestly, if you're on the right side of the tree and you're running Grace and Determination and you're sitting there with 5k armor, that 5k armor is not saving your life. You know what's going to save your life? Running faster, attacking faster, casting faster. Dead monster can't hurt you, right? I really think we've over-adjusted and think that we always have to run Grace, Determination, Defiance Banner got nerfed, but, spell suppression or whatever. I do think if you are on the right side of the tree, max spell suppression is still what you should aim for. I have lucky, so I have effectively 99 right here. If you're not dying, if you're killing all the monsters in one hit, consider dropping some of that stuff for speed. Next up is the strongest buff in the game, arguably. Adrenaline. I want to call special attention to Adrenaline, particularly with the Death Rush right here. I think the mandatory roll that you should go for is probably 2 seconds on kill. Gives you just enough time to always hit the next pack of monsters. For 2 seconds on kill with the Adrenaline, it costs 10 chaos. It's effectively a free ring. What does Adrenaline do? Adrenaline is a buff, especially if you've played Champion. Champion gets it for free, basically. It's a buff that gives you 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack, cast, and movement speed, and 10% additional physical damage reduction. Arguably the strongest buff in the game. It makes you do more damage, go faster, and take less damage. There are a few sources of it, not a ton. Death Rush is the easiest. The additional recover life on kill, the fact that you guarantee get it on every single kill, means it's the easiest source of it in the game. Champion gets it when he hits low life, 50%. I'm not going to go over all the ways that you can do that. There's a lot of different tech for activating with the champion. Big one is weapon swap into Corrupting Fever. You can activate it right away. War Banner is really good. If you watch speedrunners, you've seen them using War Banner. They'll drop it periodically to give themselves adrenaline to go a lot faster. This is a great thing to use, particularly when you're leveling through the axe. It makes you a lot faster and it feels really good. Not to mention you do 100% increased damage, which is huge at low level. And then the other unique, Olros Charge is kind of weird. And then sorry, Nick, but Annihilation's Approach is, as far as I know, is kind of bad. Maybe there's some tech there. But I want to call special attention. Jung Roan had a video a couple weeks ago to the Tanu Ahi gloves right here. Hopefully I'm saying that right. These gloves are absolutely ridiculous. You can use these for both spells and attacks. As long as you are leeching life, you can only leech by a hit, but as long as you're leeching life and you have some sort of degen like Blood Rage is probably the easiest way to sustain it. Use Blood Rage, use these gloves. 10% of the time when your life hits full again and it removes that leech, you will gain Adrenaline and or Onslaught. If you have any build that has any source of leech, or if you don't have leech yet and you're doing some physical damage, you get it for free on these gloves. These gloves are absolutely one of the cheapest ways that you can get a lot of speed and defense and everything on your build, since Adrenaline is so damn strong. You can use it on a spell, you can use it on attack, as long as you have some sort of leech and a degen like Blood Rage. Really, really, really good. Then Onslaught, which we just mentioned, this is a very old buff that many builds try to get. It is one of the, the most standard buffs in the game. Gives you 20% increased attack, cast, and movement speed. The big change that they made this league is that Flask effect, increased effect on Flask, will affect Onslaught. So your Onslaught gets even stronger if you roll, especially if you have a Mage Blood. You can roll increased effect on your prefix on your Flask and make that Onslaught even stronger. Problem with the Silver Flask is, uses a lot of charges, kind of got hit pretty bad in the 315 Flask rework. So I do recommend trying to find another source of it, like Onslaught on kill on your boots, something like that. There are many, many sources of it. You can get Onslaught from a Watcher's Eye while affected by haste. You can toss on a Thrill Steel. Yeah, just go to the wiki page, and there are many, many sources of Onslaught. So just look through those, see if there's something that fits your build. 20% attack, cast, and movement speed is crazy. If you can fit in your build, I think it's basically a no-brainer. Special attention here to something that I slacked on myself this league until yesterday, actually. I think I rolled this Flask yesterday morning. Is with your Quicksilver Flask. You want to get that increased effect. You want to get that movement speed. But I had tier 3 movement speed. I think I had like 6 or 7% on the suffix. Just going from that tier 3 to that 14% was really noticeable. Because of the way that things round in the game in Path of Exile, it always rounds down against the character. Going up to 14% was very noticeable. This Flask alone, if we have 54% times 1.25 with the 25% increased effect, this Flask gives me 67% increased movement speed, which is very, very noticeable. So you always know when you hit your Quicksilver Flask, but with like a perfect one, it's like really, really noticeable. Other thing that I'm missing that I would like is the Boot Enchant that gives you 10% increased movement speed if you haven't been hit recently. I tried to farm it up this morning and I failed. This one's second best for me. I like the attack speed. Another 10%, especially if you are evasion based, if you haven't been hit recently, usually, then that additional 10% movement speed can be really nice. I really just wanted to circle back and re-emphasize how fun I think speed, movement, abilities like that in Path of Exile are. To me, it's really the soul of what makes Path of Exile so interesting, combined with the variety of content and builds in the game. We have the joke, we have the memes, right, in the back of our heads of like, hey, PoE 2, they're slowing the game down for PoE 2 and all that. And as someone who loves PoE because of the speed, because of the fluidity of movement and attacking, that scares me. That genuinely terrifies me. And I want to make sure that PoE stays, at least, you have the option of it being very, very fast. I was feeling kind of not too good with the state of Crucible and, sitting there and charging all that. It's just not to my taste, right? Playing a bow build, now we get Mana Forge, we get Vengeance Cascade, and then leaning into movement speed really, really reinvigorated how much fun I was having this league, which, I needed. with the state of Crucible and having a 4-month league. I really, really needed that. Oh, quickly, before I go, 2 other things I want to call special attention to. Packed with Energy. If you have Nico on your map, even if you have Max Sulfite or anything, you can use a Rusted Sulfite Scarab. You can use a Nico mission. I always want to call attention to this. You get +3 all res, 105% increased damage, and 45% increased movement speed. I think this is, if you can fit it into your strategy, I think it's a no-brainer. It's absolutely cracked. And then the other thing that I love, I am always a Shrine gamer. I will basically always have the Shrine nodes. I think they're basically mandatory to have fun in Path of Exile right now. They are so strong. I wish Domination were on the map device right now. I'm so sad that it's not. With Syncretism and the leader node right here, shrines are 50% more effective. And then when you click on a shrine, you get 2 of them. And then with a lot of other leader nodes, I wish I could take these. 30% increased chance for more shrines, guaranteed shrine, and then duration of buffs right here as well. If I were able to afford all of these leader nodes, I would take all of them. If you want to, you can use a Gull or a Blunderbore as well to have even more shrines. That, I think, is just all I wanted to go over right now. Think about how fast your character is, how much you've invested into offense, defense. You may just feel tankier by going faster. And, just always keep that in the back of your mind, that speed, at least for me, is the heart and soul of what makes PoE so fun. All right, anyway, now I'm going to edit this video for the second time. I'm going to go get ready for the stream. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.